Make sure we
I'm
record.
actually fixing up to go in the car right now because my kids want to follow me into every room. So just give me a moment here.
No worries, no worries. Hello, hello. I'm not sure what your name is. It just says Zoom user, but welcome, welcome. We have more people jumping in throughout the hour. We got an hour that we're here for till 5 o'clock. We're gonna have people jumping in and out. For those of you that are here, anyone here for the first time? Maybe I know David, you've been here a few times. I'm not sure what your name is, K Ferg. Can anyone hear me? K Ferg, you there?
Yes, yes, yes. Hello, yes, I'm here. It's my first time here.
Awesome, man. Whereabouts you coming from? You jumped into the Closer College community recently?
Yes,
Awesome. Well, I'll let you know how these calls usually go. This is just a weekly open Q&A, pretty much to answer anything anyone wants to work on, any questions people might have about anything remote sales. Here to help, here to, answer any questions and see what people need to work on. Sound good?
yes, sounds great. Sounds great. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me.
No problem. So, that being said, what topics did you guys want to cover today? What is it we want to go over?
I don't really have a topic, but I wanted to express something I really enjoyed from your content. You had a video about sourcing jobs and the importance of sourcing jobs that you actually really love their products, and that just made something click in my mind. Just wanted to share that with you. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, sales is a transfer of feeling. You're selling stuff that is usually transformational depending on the offer that you're on. So you really want to make sure that you're selling something that works and selling something that you would enjoy helping people overcome. Because a lot of times, again, depending on the offer, you're going to get deep with people. You're going to have some conversations that can sometimes get uncomfortable. So you want to make sure that you're selling something that you believe in. I always say when you're on an offer, the first thing you want to do is every single day, if you can, is go through their testimonials, go through their case studies, make sure you understand the stories and the people that you've helped, because that's really gonna help when you get on those closing calls.
Hmm. Awesome. Cool.
Angelina, hopefully I'm saying it right. Emilia, welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. Is this your first time
Hello.
here?
Yes, it is. And hi, I'm Angelina. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Angelina.
We were actually just emailing not that long ago. Remember, I was asking you a couple
Yes.
questions. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
Now we're here.
Here we are.
um, yes, I do have a question.
Hmm.
That's kind of tied to the help you already gave me.
Hmm.
So, aside from the recommendations you gave me to change up my profile, what else do you recommend as somebody with literally no sales experience? I mean, maybe a tiny bit, but that's it. What would you, I guess, recommend to make us stand out? Um, you know, I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
to good offers. I know that offers are usually looking for people with experience, at least a minimum of a year or two.
Hmm.
And I'd prefer not to lie. I've been told like, oh, you can just bend the truth a little bit. I don't want to. I'm supposed to create a relationship with my boss, so can't be
Yeah, definitely wouldn't
founded off
lie.
of a lie. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't lie. Um, Honestly, you've got to go with what you do have and make it and present it in the best light possible. The main thing that they're looking for is proof that you can sell, good communication skills, conviction in it in what it is you're selling. I'll tell you a quick story of someone I was working with who had never been on any type of remote sales, high ticket sales role ever. And he jumped on an interview. He passed the first interview. He did some role plays, and they called him afterwards and they said, "Hey, we did a role play with you. We did a role play with some other candidates. The other candidates had more experience. They were much better, um, and they sounded better on the role play. But we want to hire you instead." And the reason why they hired him instead was because he was actually a fan of the influencer who was selling like the product, meaning like he'd been following them for a while. He actually wanted to buy their service. And on the interview, he expressed like how much he believed in the product, the service. He expressed the fact that he had been following them for a while. He expressed the fact that he was actually saving up to eventually, join their program. And they said they hired him off the back of that because they'd rather have someone with conviction and passion for what it was they were selling over
Mm.
someone that had less conviction and passion that, had more sales experience, but they just were kind of like nonchalant. This is just another gig for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So taking advantage of that first and foremost as a complete beginner is going to help because especially when you're speaking to like solopreneurs or you're speaking to the business owner, especially to them, like what you're going to be doing is selling like their baby, their thing that they built.
Yeah. Mhm.
And a lot of business owners kind of suck at sales. Sometimes it's they're not that good, but they
Mhm.
sell at a high rate simply because one, they have the authority of like being the face behind all the marketing, everything. And
Mhm.
two, they just have a lot of passion and conviction for what it is they're selling. They're like, this is what I love, this is my thing, and
Yeah.
people can feel that on the sales
Mhm.
calls.
Mhm.
So you can bypass a lot of the lack of experience by showcasing that you have a passion for helping people in the thing that they do. So, like, if
Okay.
you're really passionate about helping someone, like people lose weight or something, and you're applying for a fitness offer, talk about that, right?
Okay.
Show that because it's going to make a big difference. Does that make
Cool.
sense?
Yes. Thank you very much. And
So,
just
yeah.
one more.
Mhm. Go ahead.
At least for now. I noticed that the process of applying is kind of quick, very simple, easy. And I did notice some like advice on the end of the application. Oh, do this, do this, do this for you to stand out.
Mhm.
Are those like the only things and what for like what you just told me, let's say we land the interview, are those the only things that we could do to stand out or I know that gives us a higher chance of landing an interview or at least being looked at. But
Yeah, I mean, I would always reach out directly to the person that would be making the decision if you can find them. Typically
okay.
I'm looking for sales managers, looking for CEO, looking for sales
Oh,
directors. It depends on the size of company. Like if it's
okay.
a smaller company, probably look for like the founder, owner, CEO. If it's a bigger company,
Yeah.
if there is a sales manager, you definitely want to, reach out to them, but smaller companies might not have one.
Hmm.
I mean, standing out, it has to do with reaching out and then also engaging with their content in a meaningful way is really, really helpful, especially for the long term.
Okay.
So, one thing some people do is they're compiling a list of some of the best offers out there. So, let's
Uh-huh.
say, if you're maybe not going to apply to roles now, or if you are applying to roles now, but maybe you got rejected or you're applying, you're not hearing anything back,
Yeah.
add them to like create like a bit of an engagement list
Okay.
where you can start to engage with the whoever the face behind the offer is, start to engage with their content, like
Mm.
posting meaningful, not like long paragraphs, but just meaningful responses that expand on their content to show that you have a good understanding of what they sell.
Okay.
And over time, like imagine if someone was commenting on every time you posted something, someone commented something meaningful on it, you know, 2, 3 times a week, every day. Eventually, like if they're hiring again, or if you reach out again to follow up on your application, they're going to respond to you because you're not random. They're like, you're a
Yeah.
face they recognize and they remember. Obviously,
Okay.
make sure that all of your social media is, put together. You have a good headshot and
Appropriate.
your photo, it looks
Yeah.
appropriate. And then you can also build a brand around what you do, right? And what I mean by that is a lot of times people, their social media, if they don't run a business, which is understandable, is just kind of barren. Like maybe last time they posted was like 2013. There's like nothing
Hmm.
on it, right?
Yeah.
But what you can do to really prove that you are who you say you are is start to document your journey and your process in sales. And that's going to show like, when you get on an interview or when you send a 1 minute video and you say things like, I'm determined, I'm hardworking, I have a passion for fitness or whatever it is the offer is, you can prove that through the brand that you have online. And as people start to follow your brand and comment on things and like things, it's kind of like building up a mini tribe behind yourself. And what I mean by that is, if I was getting into like remote sales for the first time, I
Yeah.
might make a post and say, hey, I did a great mock call with Amelia today, and we went over this, and she really tested me on my objection handling, and it
Yeah.
was awesome, right? And then the next day I might post like, hey, I learned about this today, and I learned how to do a great discovery, really probe into pain. Like, it was, just posting what you learn every
Okay.
single day,
Right.
shouting out people that teach you something, like just building a bit of a brand behind yourself. And then when business owners check you out, they're like, oh, this person's dedicated to growth, this person's hardworking, this, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You're kind of, they see that you're alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me just ask a follow-up because I do already have an Instagram page. It's
Mhm.
established, however, it's not, necessarily a sales page. I
Mhm.
model, right? So it's
Mhm.
that. It's nothing provocative, but it is that. It's a bunch of my modeling pictures. I do have in my bio. I'm affiliated with the Her Last Call Academy, so I, shouted them out. I put remote sales in my bio. Do you think that right now I should just start making posts, or do I have to make a whole completely new page?
You could make a new page, but then, I mean, the primary platform is going to be like Facebook. I mean, if you
All
want
right.
to, so if you don't use your Facebook, you could just start doing it on
Okay.
Facebook. You know what I
All
mean?
right. Sounds good. Yeah.
And then use that and then you can be like, hey, I'm going to reach out to business owners on Facebook. And then you could use like LinkedIn as well. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions that we have? Amelia, do you have any questions?
I had one question for you, Ty. So
Mhm.
you are already aware that I have kids, and I was talking to my wife about, like, if I actually do get a job doing this, one of my concerns is if the kids stay home and they're sick, like that's gonna throw me off because they're gonna be running around and all that stuff. So you said that you actually were in your parents' basement, and I was curious how you set that up. Did you put up a wall panel? Did you have a curtain? Like,
Yeah,
how was the setup?
you gotta finesse the area, man. Like the
Yeah.
way so you gotta find like the best piece of wall and then make your camera fit within that piece as best as possible. So
Okay.
like, I had like my bed in the background. So I just tilted the camera in a certain way to where the bed wasn't there. And I just found like the cleanest piece of wall possible, right? So like if you saw the whole room, it looked like garbage, but if you just saw me on camera, it looked like I was in a professional setting, right? So
Okay.
whatever you got to do, even like you could even just, get a green screen and put it behind you,
Mhm.
not that you don't need to like use the green screen and be in a virtual place because, virtual backgrounds aren't the best because it
Yeah.
kind of indicates that you're hiding stuff. Um, but even if you just want to put like a blank sheet behind you, just as like a cutoff, or like you can get those like individual divider boards that some people use and just put that
Yeah.
right behind you, like those stand up kind of boards. You can,
Yeah.
yeah, do that.
Yeah,
Does
it's
that make
definitely
sense?
been a concern of mine, man. Definitely. But yeah, I get the idea of what you're saying. So okay, yeah.
Yeah, you showed
Got a
me a
lot of
picture of your
basement down
setup
there.
the other day, and I think just pulling out that desk and putting the camera up against like that little corner you have, I think you'd be okay
Mhm.
there. But if you got to
Yeah, the
move
only
it,
thing that sucks about that
yeah,
is the fridge is right there, and then I'm gonna have to constantly pull it out and push it back in, and then.
that's
But
true. That's true.
yeah, but it's no big deal. I mean, it's worth it. I told my wife too
Yeah.
that I can make good money doing this. She's aware of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You just got to figure it out. I don't know if you could slide the fridge over or something, but I'm
yeah.
sure there's like go around the house. There's probably a wall somewhere where you could just have a blank setting in the background. And again, it doesn't need to be fancy. You don't got to put a plant in the background. Don't need a bookshelf. Don't need anything fancy. You just need a blank wall and, lighting, decent camera qualities, decent. Like you're fine. Doesn't need to be
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
fancy.
just real quick because I know it's not too important, but you're used to those ring lights. Those ring lights blind me. Can you diffuse them in some type of
Yeah.
way?
I mean,
Like,
the one I have, that you can choose like the brightness on it. Like it's
okay.
not one setting. You choose the brightness. There's also like the softer big box ones. They're probably a little more expensive. I'm not sure, but there's a bunch of different kinds you just test out. You can go to Walmart and Sam's Club, places like that, and grab some.
Great. Okay.
Awesome. Amelia, I saw you had your hand up. What's up?
Hello, so I did have a question. I've been learning sales for about 5 weeks now, and I just landed my first offer with a startup as a closer. And obviously, there are startups, they're not very established, so they're kind of just like, I haven't got a script yet, haven't got any recordings,
Mhm.
kind of going into it very blind, and I'm trying to cobble together things from like different scripts to try and create something that works.
Mhm.
Um, and it's not really working. So I was wondering if you had any advice, like what's the most important thing to establish on a B2B call? Because I know that like pain stacking and future pacing isn't where it's at. It's like it's more kind of an opportunity. So I get that, but
Mhm.
it's just I don't know. I'm struggling a little bit. I just wondering if you had any insight. Yeah.
Yeah, you really don't want to overthink it. You don't want to overthink it. At the end of the day, it's just a conversation, and you're going in to see how you can help someone. The way I like to think of my closer calls, no matter what the offer is, with B2B, it's just gonna, the only difference is it's gonna be a little bit more of a logical conversation than emotional. But then again, depending on the person, it can be emotional if it's like a smaller business and maybe they're a little bit more emotional about their goals when it comes to business, right? So at the end of the day, the way I like to understand it is when I get on a call, I just want to figure out what the problem is. Like, what are you struggling with? Right. After I figure out the problem, I just want to know what you've done to try to solve that problem. Then I want to know where you're trying to go, what the goals are. Then maybe the consequences of not achieving those goals, kind of how important this is to the person, and then transition into the pitch. Like you just, I
Yes.
follow more of a framework than a script because you want to just be super, super present and like specific listed questions don't allow you to be that. So you want
Yeah.
to make sure that you just get practice and role play following the frame rather than okay, this is the word for word of what I'm going to say. The only thing that can be pretty scripted is the actual pitch, but even in that, you want to tailor it to the person that you're speaking to a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. The framework that I've been using is kind of like the roller coaster one, where it starts off with like, what are your goals? And then where are you at right now? Bridge, pitch, close or not. And that seems to be like it's okay. It's just like most of the people that I'm role playing with have are more experienced in B2C stuff. So they're like, you're not stacking enough pain and you're not like, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, but it doesn't
Hmm.
feel natural in the conversation. Like that's not where I would naturally take it.
Hmm.
Um,
Have you taken any calls yet on the offer?
Not yet. They haven't like they're still because the guy, the CEO, he has like two startups. So he was launching his other one this weekend. Um, so he hasn't sent me like any of the training yet, but I'm meant to be starting in the next 2 weeks.
Mm,
Basically, I am looking for another job at the same time because I'm like,
this
this
one's a
is a
little
bit red
fishy.
flaggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit fishy. So I've got an interview tomorrow, for like the Win It Sales recruitment. Uh, yeah, so hopefully that goes well. Um, if I do get another job in the meantime, while I'm waiting for them to get back to me, then I'll obviously go with that. But
Yeah, I mean, do
yeah,
they have, do they, do so the business owner didn't give you like, hey, this is the framework we use at this company?
he basically said, we don't care how you close as long as you meet KPIs. So I was like, okay, like that's on one hand, that's a good thing because I can do
Yeah.
whatever the hell I want. But on the other hand, it's like I would appreciate at least having like a mock call or some just seeing like a transcript from a call you've done, you know.
Yeah, so like it just depends. Like sometimes offers like that are good for someone who's like maybe been on a few offers and they have their own ideology of how to sell, and you're like, yeah, cool. Like I'll jump on and I'll close, and if I'm closing well and I'm making good money, I'll stick around. But would this be your first offer? Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe you want something with a little bit more support, in that case for your very, very first offer. Um,
Yeah. But
but yeah,
also
I
like
would
beggars
do.
can't be choosers kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Like,
would do exactly what you're doing is like I would sit there and if they bring me calls, great, I'll use that as experience and practice for my track record, but I would never stop networking and like applying for other roles and kind of building my job pipeline because if something better comes along, you could always make the transition.
yeah, thank you.
No problem. What else we got? K Ferg, anything from you, man? Anything you want to go over?
It's actually my first call, so I was really just trying to hear how it goes and then kind of go from there.
For sure. Yeah. Any questions anyone else has?
I guess I'll just utilize the time to ask everything.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, um, I'm really feeling a little anxious, if you will. I mean, I'm sure everybody's felt that way, but I actually, you guys were talking about B2B. I actually was just on a B2B offer, and it was my first offer. And I was a DM setter caller type of thing. But the
Mhm.
lead quality, I feel just wasn't up to par. Or any good leads that they did have, it was all cooped in with people who literally wanted nothing to do with the company, right? So it's kind of like putting your setters at a disadvantage because I'm calling all these people and half of them don't even want to speak to the company because they're not even in the business anymore. It was a wedding business, so
Mhm.
helping other people scale their offers. I guess my question is, how would you, what are the red flags, I guess, that I could look for, anybody could look for as a as a new closer, a new setter. I'm really going for a closer role instead of setting. But
Mhm.
like I guess what would be the red flags to tell you, hey, this company is kind of or they're not really established.
Yeah.
I,
The one big indicator is social presence, right?
okay.
If I'm looking through, I want to see that a company has case studies, testimonials that they, are putting out some kind of content.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign if they have content, if they are generating leads. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know too much about the lead flow until you've spoken to someone, but from the
Yeah.
outside looking in, you can see social presence, you can see testimonials, you can see case study, you can see longevity by the age of the social posts.
Mm-hmm.
You can even like look up their website. There's lots of little tools on Google that'll say how long a website has like a domain has been used for. You could just say,
Oh,
like, look up this website.
okay.
So you can see how old the domain is. One big thing is, and it's not a perfect indicator because not every company runs ads on
Mm.
Facebook, but you
Yeah.
can check what's called the Facebook ad library,
Okay.
and look up their page. Do you know what, have you heard of the ad library on Facebook?
I've heard of it. I've never used it.
Yeah, so what you could do is it'll actually, if you just go to Facebook ad library and Google, you'll see it there. You can filter by country, just do all, and then you type in the name of the company and you can see their Facebook page. And sometimes it's a good indicator on lead flow because it'll actually show you what ads are currently live for that
Mm,
company. And you can see if they've got ads that are currently active. One thing I
mm-hmm.
like to look at is how long an ad has been active. For
Okay.
example, if the person launched an ad like 3 months ago or 6 months ago and it's still active, chances are that's a good sign
Yeah.
because nobody runs an ad for 6 months that's losing them money for the
Mm,
most part. Like, so if
okay.
someone's got an ad live for a long time, that's a good indicator that they're making money. And that means they're getting decent enough leads to make a good ROI to keep those ads active.
Okay.
So yeah,
And is
it's also a
there,
good way to look for offers.
thank you for that. And is there a way to filter the new offers from the, or like not the new offers, but the offers that are looking or don't really have a preference as far as experience goes? Because every offer I would run into so far, at least on Rep Select, or most of them would require experience. So I'm wondering if there's like a filter or an option for the people who
Yeah,
don't have experience.
to be honest, I would use OTE as a kind of filter for that, but at the same time, I wouldn't pay too much attention to it because if
Okay.
you sound and look good enough, they'll hire you. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So
mm,
I wouldn't put too much, like, if I, for example, if I saw a company I really wanted to work with and I didn't have a year's experience and it said must have 2 years experience, I would still apply and I would still
okay.
reach out. Like
All right.
I wouldn't put too much emphasis on it. No
All
problem,
right.
Amelia. Have a good one. I wouldn't put too much emphasis on it. I would still go after it. And then the ones with lower OTEs, like stated OTE, like OTE is not really like this perfect indicator anyway. So don't
Yeah.
put too much emphasis on that because I've been on offers where like the OTE was lower. And if
Mm,
you come in with skill, you come and you make way more than the OTE. And there's offers where the OTE is higher. And if you're just you're not good enough, or maybe the offer just doesn't gel with you, or maybe you just don't do well at selling that specific thing they're selling, you come in and make less, right? So don't put
Mhm.
too much weight on the OTE. But one thing I would do is jobs that are below 10K OTE just don't get anywhere near as much applications. So if you're struggling to land a role, like those 1 to 3K OTE, those 3 to 6K OTEs on Rep Select, like the competition is so low on those. I
Okay.
would go after those.
Okay.
Um, and again, with those, you can stack multiple. Like you can stack two of those offers and make six, seven,
Yeah.
8, 9K a month. You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
don't have to only work one offer. So if I was like struggling to land a role, a lot of people struggle to land the role because they're like solely applying to things that say 10K or more.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So if
Probably
you're
what I
like,
was
hey, who
doing.
hires beginners? The people where only beginners would apply. Like, for example, someone with like 2, 3, 4 years of sales experience that's like, hey, I've been on offers where I've made 10, 15, 20K a month. And
Mhm.
like they're not going to accept it. Like they're not going to apply to offers that are saying 3K OT. Like they're just not going to apply.
Yeah.
Right. So if a business owner puts out a job and they say 3 to 6K OTE, no one with years of experience is applying. So they literally have to hire a beginner. Like they don't really have a choice in the matter. So they will hire you if
Ah,
you're good enough. You know what I mean?
okay. And
Like there's no convincing you're gonna do that's gonna get someone to jump on there. You know what I mean?
yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I mean, I don't, and let's say like do you know if they really ask for closing videos, or not closing videos, but like mock call videos and stuff?
Yeah, some do. I would always have some. Like I would make
Okay.
some for sure.
Okay.
Just because like especially if you don't have real experience, like you're gonna need something to show them that you can sell,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know? So I would definitely make some and clip them out and make it look pretty, put together like a little portfolio.
Mhm.
That would help. And then I don't know if you guys got the email I put out the other day or the post, but I put out the new like endorsements section on your Rep Select profile. So you can actually get other people to kind of like write reviews and like champion your skills on your profile. So if you've got a bunch of endorsements from other people, that will also help you stand out from someone
Okay.
who doesn't, you know,
Okay. Thank you.
no problem.
Um, yeah, Ty, I wanted to ask you about the personal development space and what's been your experience with offers that are out there involving all that?
Um, well, I mean, I could rant on that for a long time. Like, is there any specific question about it? Like, personal development space is
Um,
great. There's lots of good offers.
oh yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. Yeah, is there any good offers?
Yeah, there's lots of good offers in almost every space. But yeah, I mean, personal development especially, there's a lot of like, there's men's health, there's mindset offers. I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for. There's tons. There's personal development in terms of like a lot of them, there's some of them that are like mixed with like mindset and fitness. There's some that are just total mindset kind of offers. There's some that are there's a lot. I mean, yeah, there's lots of good offers in that space.
Okay, good, because that's gonna be my niche. I actually took your advice on that,
Yeah,
focusing
there's
down.
like executive personal like development coaching. There's like, you know, uh, busy professionals that need to, you know, have a life outside of work. Like there's just so much like micro niches in personal development. That's a really broad topic.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
There's niches, there's offers for everything. Everything. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
been on some interesting offers.
Yeah. Like personally, I'm working on like I know exactly what I want to sell, but I haven't seen it yet. I just love luxury goods and I
Mhm.
want to sell luxury goods to specifically to women. It doesn't need to be, but I know I'd excel at that. I haven't seen anything like that. So now I'm kind of like, remember the last time I jumped on and you were saying, what's one of the things that you do just randomly if you want to make a couple extra hundred or a
Mhm.
couple extra $1,000. So I reached out to some friends who are like trying to build startups and stuff. I'm not necessarily interested in selling what they have, but I want to exercise the muscle.
Mhm.
Um, One of them is like a cybersecurity software thing, like they're software
Mm.
engineers, and they're geniuses, but they can't sell for crap, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, let me sell it for you guys, right? 10% of whatever the total packages that I sell. And yeah, they're game. So I'm gonna build out something for that. And I feel like I think that was like really, really good advice. So if
Hmm.
anyone else on the call is thinking like that, like if you want to make a couple extra hundred or a couple extra thousand, like look within your circle and just reach out to some people who have something to sell and be like, yo, I can help. Just nothing up front.
And don't be so like sold on the 10%. Like,
Hmm.
offers that I was like when I was first like doing high ticket sales, most offers are like 15-20%. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, like I
What
used to sell 3K offers that were 15%. I sold a 20K offer that was 20%, sold another 3K
because
offer that
I'm
was
new, like you know,
20%. So like you don't
yeah.
have to like there's more than 10% is more like the standard, the norm now, but
Mm-hmm.
don't think that that's what it has
But
to
that's the
be.
only
You
thing
can
I
get
can.
creative.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that. Like, especially, depending on how much of the process you're taking on yourself, you could do more or less. Like,
yeah.
you know,
I'm doing the whole cycle, like selling for them, and all they have to do is prepare the
well,
product
I
or
do
the.
at least 20% if I'm doing full cycle.
Okay.
Fit like
All right.
15 to 20% at least if I'm doing full cycle. I've seen people do full cycle for like 30%.
Bro,
Like,
okay. Guess what? Guess what? My first month, I bawled just now. I'm late for the call because I was bawling. I made 4K in my first month closing, guys.
there you
Awesome.
go.
Woo!
That's a great start. That's a
But
great
that's setting
start.
and closing, right? I'm still setting and closing. So a part of like 1,200 was my base for setting, and the rest I earned in commissions. I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm so happy.
That's a great start. That's really, really good, and you just keep improving your skill set from there, keep growing, and the income will increase with your skill set. That's one thing I love about sales. It's a lot like sports,
Right.
it's
It's
like the best
exciting.
players get paid the most. That's just the way it is. You got to also be on a really good team. If you're really good at soccer, but you live in Canada, then it just sucks. You got to go to
Canada
Europe.
time.
Yes, I live in Canada. But you got to go to
That's
Europe or something.
right. Yeah, I think he could come. He could come. Sorry, I'm gonna mute my camera. My
No
partner's passing.
worries. No worries. No worries.
But
Thanks.
yeah, that's the goal. Like, if anyone has any advice there, I'm totally open. Like, I definitely want to. I told you, like, the volume on this offer is not high, and I have 14-hour day availability right now, just to be able to make what I did. I just feel like if I put some of that time to somewhere that actually has, the volume coming in, I could be doing far less and making more.
Yeah, and you said luxury goods. Most
Mm.
most most of the stuff you'll be selling like on closer calls will be services. But what do you mean
Yeah.
when you say luxury goods?
Okay. I know that's where I want to end up.
Hmm.
I want to end up there, but I'm thinking like one of the things I love, I also lived in Canada. I just moved back to Jamaica.
Hmm.
And so for example, like, those high-end membership clubs, like country club type vibes?
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's
Have you
not
just
exactly
have you chat
product, right?
GPT'd it?
No, I should.
Like literally go to ChatGPT and be like, find me 10 jobs that sell XYZ product or service to XYZ type of client that hire sales reps to sell them. Like, I guarantee it'll find you a couple just like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
definitely gonna go for
And you'll
it.
get some company names, and then you can just start like go on LinkedIn, search up the company, find the sales manager, start
Mm-hmm.
engaging with their content, reach out to the sales manager, see what's going on, even cold call the business. You'll find it. You can use it to find exactly what it is you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a great. I thank you. Baby, you're on camera. You know that, right?
My wife's on the camera all the time. How you doing, Imani? Did I
I'm.
pronounce your name right?
You did.
Okay. Yeah, I like your energy. You got good energy for this. So,
Oh, thank
yeah.
you. It feels like sport, like Ty said. Like I'm so excited. I've always been very competitive, and I've not been challenged in my work so far. And I
Uh-huh.
just love that this is like I get to make the rules in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's been
almost
very.
seems too good to be true, you
I
know?
know, right? Like I
Uh,
literally just set the intention of how much I wanted to make. And I kid you not, even though I had 14-hour availability, like the 2 middle weeks of February, I didn't close a single deal. I barely worked.
oh wow, man. I got to
Yeah.
tell you something. I started networking. I just started doing it without
Mhm,
even really knowing how to do it. And I've
mhm,
learned something. Like if I actually approach somebody with the intent of just giving them some type of advice that I think they may need, or I share some type of sentiment about what I appreciate from their product, or I express some type of interest, like the network as far as the conversation, that actually goes smoother because a lot of times I would just in the beginning like just message these people like, hey, what's going on? Then I'd be like, hey, I'm interested in doing this. But when I come with the intent of actually trying to benefit them in some type of way, the whole energy transforms itself. So I'm finding it really interesting for myself because networking is I don't know, it's just fun some type of way.
it
I don't know,
is.
you know?
It
So
is. I agree. Love that perspective. I think that's how I am naturally. So I've never thought about it in like such like the way you have expressed it just now. Like I've told my clients, like I'm on calls and I've told them, like I know from the first 10 minutes that they're not gonna buy, but I just stay on the call and give them some advice for their business anyway, right?
mhm.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
that's good that you're
block out
naturally
the
that way.
hour. Pardon?
That's good that you're naturally that way. The only thing I got to tell you is you got to be careful giving people too many compliments of what they're good at, because then everybody's going to want to be your friend. I don't know if you've experienced that. Then you got to be like, hey, I need time for myself. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like that, but the good thing is I am an extroverted introvert, so I only look like I'm extroverted. I don't actually like people.
Oh, really? Oh boy.
No, I don't. I spend most of my time by myself. So they always get it. Like after a couple interactions, they realize like I'm not down to be friends, but I'm a
Mhm.
good like I'm a good man in a storm. Like you could call on me, but don't call on me every day.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, you're
sometimes you
definitely
gotta
doing
you gotta
something
put on a
right.
different hat. Sometimes you gotta
Thank
put on a
you.
different hat.
Right.
Awesome, awesome. Who else we got in here? Georgios, you there, man?
Yeah, man. Hello.
How are you doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Awesome. Is it
How
your
about you?
first time on this call?
Yeah, actually.
Awesome. Well, welcome, welcome. It's just let you know this call is just an open Q&A. Anyone that needs support, anyone needs help, anything high ticket sales, just here to answer questions and do whatever anyone needs to work on. So feel free to ask a question if you'd like. Joseph, I saw you had your hand up as well. What's up, man?
Hey, yeah, just following up from a couple weeks ago. I did use the framework that you mentioned. I don't know if you remember me, but you gave me a
Yep.
framework for intro, and I kind of got had other things I had to work on, so I didn't have it ready. But I do have it ready today. I wanted to get your feedback to see what, based off what I got. That's
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I'm happy to review it if you want to drop it while you're pulling that up. Georgios, did you have a question? Maybe I could answer it before we pull this up.
Yeah, although I don't know if it's kind of long, but just want to get your idea to, I guess, some advice regarding to what I'm working like a 9 to 5 sales job right now, right?
Hmm.
And then if you had some advice for how someone could get from a normal 9 to 5 to high tickets, even if it, if it would be a good idea to even do it like part-time or go full-time on that and quit, or what do you think is the best way to get in the industry?
That is a bit longer of a question. We will answer that
Yeah,
right after we review this call or this
yeah,
video. Sound good?
yeah, that's fair.
Okay, let me just pull this up and then we will answer your question. Let's have a listen. Second here.
Hi, my
Everyone can hear that? Yep,
Yeah.
good. Sweet.
name is Gerald Joseph. I'm sending you this video because I love to work with you as an appointment setter. I have over a year of appointment setting experience with a BizOp offer where I was able to set over 20 appointments every single month. I've also done a lot of cold outreaches on LinkedIn to set those appointments. I've done a ton of extensive training with Bill Walsh's Objection Box, Tom Hopkins' Master the Art of Selling, and Tia Martin's Closer College. I also have a bunch of mock calls proving my skill set. If you want to watch those, you just have to click the link below that I sent you with this video. I'm happy to jump on a call, showcase my skills, and schedule an interview to see if we're a good fit for each other. I'm dedicated to growth. I know I can fill up your calendar, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
So my feedback on this, I think the words that you use, the things that you said, all fine, all good. It's the energy that I want to address. If you address the energy there, I think it'd be a solid video. I want to see more life. One thing that helps as well, if you put the camera down a little bit more, so you're very like your head is more central, or even towards the upper part of the thing, like show it a little bit lower. In psychology, using hand gestures actually makes people come across as more confident. So, maybe do some hand gestures when you're doing that. But I mean, dude, I think if you just get the energy up and then it's not obvious that you're reading, it's totally fine to use this as like a practice one. You said the right things. You just need to say it as if you're naturally talking and you're not like reading a script. And I think it's a solid video, man.
Appreciate it. Yep, definitely. I'll take those suggestions, implement those, and come back.
Yeah, yeah, good video. Just make it smooth, make it natural, and you're good to go. Awesome. So, Georgios, you wanted to talk about how to transition from your role. There's lots of ways. It really just depends on what you want to do, how you want to go about it personally. Starting out on a part-time role is good if you can land one, like that's totally fine. What kind of sales role are you in right now?
I'm actually selling consulting to uh, private equities, hedge funds, those types of companies that do market studies. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like a
dude, that
big
transfer as well.
yeah, it's like a big corporate company that I'm working right now, though. It's more than like 2,000 people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the thing is, uh, do I also wanted to ask for a second one is, other than that, do you think that someone who's from Europe like me, because I'm from Greece and I have an accent, I think it's clear. Do you think that someone can succeed as easily in the States as, or is that, or is do they start with a problem, let's say, or something like that?
No, you could definitely land a role for sure. There's lots of people with accents all over the world that are landing roles, and there's roles that aren't like remote sales jobs aren't only in the States, but even so, if you are applying to jobs in the States, as long as people can understand you, which I can understand you just fine. I think you'd be fine. At the end of the day, if you present yourself with confidence, with the experience you have, if you learn how to present that well, I think landing a role wouldn't be too difficult for you. Seeing as you're already working with like big consulting and private equity firms, I think as long as you learn how to actually frame that experience in the right way, landing a role wouldn't be difficult at all. And then as for being successful, that just comes down to the sales skills that you have when you do get on that role, which you know I can't say it's more or less difficult depending on accent. It's depending on can you pick up the skill. Um, so that depends. I'd love to review calls and role plays and stuff and see how you do, and maybe we can help you. But yeah, I think you'd be fine. I don't think it's going to be a huge barrier, not being from the States.
Yeah, thanks, man. And would you say, like you said before, to start maybe a part-time job, or what do you think the best ways would be?
That's like a personal preference question. So like so here's the thing. It's like some people are like if you're going to make the transition, right? There's a lot of questions there. Are you transitioning to a commission only role? If you are transitioning to a commission only role, are you in a financial situation where you could go a month without any pay? Because usually it takes a couple of weeks, just like starting any job, takes a couple of weeks before you get that first paycheck. Or, if you get on an offer and maybe you're not closing at the rate that you'd want to close, can you take that financial hit? Or like there's just it's so custom tailored to you. I don't know if that's a conversation you'd want to have like on a group call, but like it really just depends on what you're looking to do. I always tell people if they're going to like quit their job to jump on full commission, they should have a 2 to 3 month runway saved up. That way, if something happens when they're on the offer, let's say, they're not closing at the rate they'd want to close, or someone could grab like a roll with a base pay first that covers the bills. That's also another option. Or part time is good to test your skills. Like if you have an offer that's like willing to take you on part time and then you can work into full time on that offer, that's another way to do it. I mean, there's just so many ways to do it, and there's no like this is the way versus this is not the way. It just like depends on your level of comfortability, your risk tolerance, and your skill set. Like, are you confident with jumping on an offer that has, maybe they have people on the team that are closing doing well? Are you confident you're going to jump on and perform just as good as those people? It's just a lot of factors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. So
Thanks though. Yeah.
yeah, so you have to make that decision. I would say if I were you, make a solid 1 minute video, do some interview mocks, and then if you can, you can bring the 1 minute video, you can bring those interview mocks to this call. We can see how you show up to interviews. If you sound good, we can see how your 1 minute video is. Make a really, really solid one. Then start applying to roles and get offered some positions and see what kind of positions you're able to land. If you're able to land like a super solid offer where like people on the team are just crushing it, making a lot of money, and you feel like you want to just take the leap for that, then yeah, go ahead and do it. But see what you can land. See what you can land first. See if you can, because like there's no like true part-time versus full-time in this industry. It's more so what's the lead flow. Like the lead flow is just like part-time is a byproduct of not much leads. Like, you know what I mean? So you're never gonna be like, is this role part-time or full-time? It's like, does this company book 3 calls a day or 10 calls a day? Like, you know what I mean? So I would just start applying to companies, see what's out there, see what I can land, and see what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ty. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
Not from my side. Thanks.
This might not be exactly related, but I'm sure you have the expertise could help. So I'm gonna shoot anyway if no one else has a question. So I have an LLC in Canada. I was running my business there, cleaning company, residential and commercial. I moved home. I want to see if there's a potential to do something, like a middleman thing. Like what I was doing, I had the team and we were doing like I want to do it a different way this time around, where they're not employees or contractors, like they're on their own. I'm not like I know how I want to do, but I still need to figure it out. How would you navigate something like that?
You're saying you want to have your cleaners be self-employed?
Pretty much, yeah. And like
Yeah,
I
then
just get the
then they're
contracts for them.
contractors.
Yeah, they're like I still had them as they were always contractors.
Yeah.
However, like I don't want to manage them like I was before. Does that make
Well,
sense?
well, that's what contractor is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think like if they're contractors already, there's nothing legally you need to change per se.
Not
I'm
legally. I
not
think
a
just
I'm not a
structurally.
lawyer, so don't take
No,
my
not
word for it
legally. I'm not
100%,
asking
but
legally. I'm asking structurally, right? So I got the contracts from these companies,
Mhm.
and then it was my company like doing the service. I
Mm,
want to get the contracts and then place the people and take a
mhm,
percentage or something. Does that make
mhm,
sense?
mhm.
Like I don't want to have any involvement after that, like making sure they're showing up, having supplies, none of that stuff.
Is that like
Well,
referral fee?
yeah,
Pardon?
well, he said like a referral fee.
Mm,
So the thing is, you would have to connect the person with the company then, because if
yeah.
you're the one that's making the contract, you're liable and responsible for the outcome. So even though you're not managing the person, if that person doesn't show up,
It's
they
on.
gave you the money. Like they're gonna come to
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, you'll always be managing to some degree. You
What
know
about
what I
like
mean? If you're
recruiting? Like,
doing it that way. Like you
yeah.
could so what
I
you
just
could
want to
do
pivot the
is,
business. Like I want to do something like maybe work
yeah,
as like, operate as a recruiter instead. Does that make sense?
you would have to connect the two people that do have the
Yes.
relationship and
Yes.
make it very
Yes.
clear that you're just the
That's the
middleman
case.
then, you know what I mean?
That's the
You'd have to
goal.
connect them.
Goal. Just need
So
to
yeah,
figure
you
out.
would just have to find a structure to do that in a clean way. And maybe that structure is, I mean, if you're collecting payment and then you're paying out the person,
Always gonna be
you could be a middleman that, like, let's say you hold off payment until the job is done. That way, if there's a issue where things need to be refunded, you're not stuck in the middle there. Does that make
mm-hmm.
sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
where you're like, hey, collecting the cash, and then when the job is done, you release the funds or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It was a little off tangent, but I'm grateful for the
No
response.
worries. No worries.
Got a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of questions off tangent. It's all good.
yeah, it's an interesting model that, you know, everything has its pros and cons and its risks. So you just got to find a clean way to go about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to keep looking. I think I just need to do more research.
What do you need all
100%.
that money for, Amani? You trying to take
Bro,
over the world?
yeah. Don't you want to
Yeah.
be rich? You think I want to be you think I want to be working all the time, man?
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm seeing your ambition. That's awesome. That's what's
Thank
up.
you.
You know.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
that's
I
I
wanted.
the
want to be spending
Oh,
half my day at the spa and going out with my girlfriends and playing with my dog and gardening. That's the goal.
that's a big thing with building these sales skills as well, as it opens up a lot of opportunity to do other things, especially if you want to start your own business. If you know how to sell, away you go. Like for me, the very first kind of official business I started was a marketing agency, and you know, we did like almost multi six figures in the first year because I had spent many years doing different sales jobs. So I mean, selling was easy. I just had to figure out delivery, you know. So having sales as a foundation for lots of things is really good. Joseph, you had a
Yeah.
question, man?
Yeah.
And then
I was
Angelina,
wondering
I'm not sure. Go ahead, Joseph.
where could I find I could, I guess interview mock calls in the community? Like I see a lot of intro videos that you can kind of look and draw
Oh, you
some
mean like
inspiration from.
watching interview mocks?
Yeah.
Um, I don't have any recordings. If you guys bring them to these calls, not many people have been bringing them. If you guys bring them to these calls, like I'll start putting them in the community, but not many people have brought them. I used to do a ton of them, but I don't have those recordings anymore. So yeah, do the mocks, partner up with each other, bring them to these calls. I'll record them and I'll throw them in the community.
Jason. I actually need to do an interview mock. I can connect with you. You know, you can help me out. I can help you out. Uh, yeah, my mic's on. Oh yeah. Okay. So, is that something you'd be interested in,
He was talking
Jason?
to you, Joseph. Joseph is his
Oh,
name.
oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry, Joseph. Joseph. I don't have my glasses on. Oh, okay. Now I know
okay.
why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I'd be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, post your calendar link and
Yeah.
book a call and get paired up.
Okay, awesome. And another question that I had for Joseph and also Imani, if you guys don't mind, I would really appreciate it if you could recommend my LinkedIn profile. I'll admit in the beginning it wasn't professional. The only thing that's not professional is kind of my photo, but it does look pretty nice. It's all right, but I'm going to be working on a professional photo. Yeah, I'll
We
reach
could
out to you guys in DMs if you guys don't mind, you know? So,
let's connect over there.
Yeah, you
yeah,
guys can
definitely.
endorse each other, connect over there. Why not? Why not?
Hey, Amani, which part of Jamaica that you're from?
Pardon?
So
No,
which part of Jamaica are you from?
yes, I was asking which part of Jamaica that you're from because
Oh,
I was actually born in Jamaica too, so that's kind of giving me more motivation.
come home, bro. It's nice out here.
I
Yeah.
wasn't born in Jamaica, but I'm half Jamaican.
Oh, okay,
Really?
okay, great, great,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, like
I'm
I haven't
literally
been there
encouraging
since
everyone to
teenager,
come
so
home. Yeah. I'm telling everyone to come home. Honestly, I was busting my ass in Canada and I didn't see the results. And look at me now, living real comfortable,
right.
doing far less. So,
I haven't been there since I was a teenager. I can't wait to be back.
wow. I'm on the east side. I'm on East End. Like I'm from Surrey, so I'm from St. Thomas, but I live
Okay,
in the
okay,
now,
okay.
right? I'm in Kingston.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's where I was born at, and my father, he still have a home out in Portmore.
What, bro? I'm literally in Portmore right now.
Hey, but this is giving me more motivation, you know.
You got this. You got
Hey,
this.
There you
Thank you.
go.
100%.
Get
Like
after
I
it.
tell everybody after the calls, every time, like I'm always posting in the community. Seriously, I made this funds that I shared with you guys without paying for any professional help. Like I use up every free resource I could find on Ty's thing. I went through everything. I found his YouTube. I went through most of the videos there. I'm on Objection Box. I do their masterclass. It's like $10 and then all their free stuff. This was just literally locking in, putting at least 2 hours. I dropped off this month because I was focusing more on doing the work. But I just spent 2 months, a month and a half, spending
Right.
2 hours a day just consuming free content, making notes, and practicing with Chat GPT. I did a lot of role playing with people in the community. And that's what got me here. A lot of people feel like they have to invest a shit ton of money in coaching. It's beneficial for sure, but I really think that it's just spending time honing your skills. And I think Ty said it a lot of times, and a lot of people keep saying that, and I endorse that 100%.
Gotta build the
Right.
skill
Okay,
set.
cool.
Just
Thanks.
gotta
Yeah.
build the skill set.
If I can add on to that, before I joined the academy, the Her Last Call Academy, I did interviews with, obviously I was new to the closer field. I knew I wanted to make real money, but anyways, I did interviews with people who were pretty much wanted $6,000 for me to become a closer. Now, the whole deal was, oh, we connect you with people, you make money right away, you make the money back. But I'm like, $6,000 is a lot, and I'm on a bi-weekly. So how am I gonna put on $6,000? But no, the academy has definitely. I feel I could have. I could have done something without the academy, but at the same time, I wouldn't know where I would have started. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate the academy for that, because one, I already I can use Alexis's name since she is connected with people and knows people in the infopreneurs world. And that kind of holds some value to it. So, and I can definitely tell that when I mention that on my interviews, they're like, oh, so you know Alexis, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know, being coached it was a little helpful, but you can definitely do it on your own. Like, I'm sure half of the people in this room have done it on their own, so.
Mind me asking, who's Alexis?
Alexis May is, she owns the Her Last Call Academy, I guess, academy. It basically just specializes in coaching women on becoming setters and closers. And
Yeah, it sounds like a program. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a program.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, I do have to run, guys. Sorry to cut it short, cut the conversation, but hey, guys can always connect, keep the conversation going. I will see you, for those of you that are in closer calls, see you guys on Wednesday. If not, I'll see you guys again on Monday. Have a good one. Hope everyone enjoyed. Hope everyone got
Thank
some good
you.
value from this call.
Yep.
See you guys next time.
Good talking to you guys.
Thank you, Ty.
All right, man. Cool. Thanks.
Later.
Have a good rest of your day.